name is Olivia, and I am a program coordinator for Macon County 4-H here at the Macon County Extension Office in Decatur. And today we are going to talk about how science plays a part in the kitchen. So for our experiment today, we have made 6 different types of chocolate chip cookie batter, and each one has a different tweak to an ingredient in it. So these two, the butter has been changed. The regular recipe calls for softened butter. So for this one, we have melted butter and then just straight out of the fridge butter. So it's very cold. These two have the sugars changed. It's supposed to be equal parts of brown sugar and white sugar. So this one has a little bit more brown sugar than white sugar, and then this one has more white sugar than brown sugar. And then these two, this one has baking soda in it, as opposed to this one that has baking powder in it. So this one is supposed to be a little bit more fluffy than the baking powder, and the white sugar cookies are supposed to be a little bit more crispy than the brown sugar ones that are supposed to be chewier. And then the cold butter is supposed to make it a little bit more cakey of a cookie than a melted butter. Alright, so we are going to scoop these onto our baking sheets, and then we're going to bake them for about 10-15 minutes on 375. So we will be back to show you all of our concoctions that we made. Okay, so we are back with our baked cookies, and as you can see, they vary very much in color and texture and size and rising of it. So we're going to come down here with our baking soda and baking powder, and we said at the beginning that the baking powder was going to make it a little bit more fluffier, and that's because of the carbon dioxide that is in the baking powder. So when the baking powder meets with the other ingredients, it rises just a little bit, and that's what we have here. It kind of shows it kind of fell flat a little bit, but that's okay. They still look pretty good. And then right here is our baking soda. And you can see that they're a little flatter, and they should be a little bit crispier too. So they're a little crispy and a little crunchy at the same time around the edges. So let's break one of these open and see. If you look at the center of it, it kind of looks a little bit thicker than the other ones did. Okay. So now down here we have our different sugars. Our brown sugar ones look a little bit darker than our white sugar ones, but the white sugar ones are supposed to be a little bit more crispier, so hopefully we did that correctly. Let me get a good one. I hear a little crunch in that one. They're still a little warm, so they're kind of falling apart a little bit. And then here is our brown sugar ones. They kind of feel more chewier too, rather than these. These feel a little bit more like a wafer. Okay, and then the last two that we have is our butter differences. So this one had the cold butter in it, and you can see these did not spread out as evenly as the melted butter ones, and I think these kind of look the best ever. So these are kind of cakier, and they kind of look like those shortbread cookies that you see at Christmas time that are rolled in the powdered sugar. That's what those remind me of. And then we have our melted butter cookies, and these are very chewy and have spread out very nicely. So, as you can see, whatever you put in your cookies really makes a difference. So make sure you follow that recipe very carefully, or else you could have some little balls of dough that don't spread out evenly, or you can have some really dark and crispy cookies that you may not be wanting, but they sure do taste the same and still yummy. So that is our experiment for today, and we hope you go home and try to make your own batch of chocolate chip cookies.